third place. So it has to be a quarter-final place to stand any chance of a medal. Third match then on KITAZONO, Aramitsu of Japan, and he's going to be fighting ORYNBASSAR of Kazakhstan. 40 years of age, ORYNBASSAR. For the experience, Paralympic Games, first time here. This man here, 7th in the 2012 Olympic Games. Well, they have a very traditional style of doing judo, the Japanese. Of course, it originated in Japan. It is their sport, you could say, although now it is a global sport that is practiced by billions. 2.5 million people practice judo in Japan. Same in Brazil. When you consider that those countries, I mean, there is only 3.5 million people in Mongolia. Mongolia are one of the biggest judo nations in the world. So they have to readjust their gripping strategies here. The referee has to ensure that one or the other hasn't got a superior grip, one that suits them, because the grips play a massive part. A lot of people see our judogis as pajamas or a form of pajamas, but they're very, very thick material, and they play a massive part in the initiation of technique. If you get your favorite grip, two hands on, normally that enables you to attack. Of course, the difference here is that they're having to grip up every time, so all the time looking for something, sometimes the inside grip to create space in order to rotate underneath their opponent, and sometimes an outside grip if it's some of the Eastern European countries where they favour outside grips to do some of their techniques. So a lot of their different fighting forms derive from their wrestling styles that have developed over hundreds of years. Of course, now it's with a jacket. So as with all champions, adaptation very, very important. They adapt to certain techniques. KITAZONO trying to get underneath his opponent there. It's not happening. ORYNBASSAR very, very physically strong, you can see that. One penalty on the board to KITAZONO. I think that was for gripping. There's a problem with the grips. I think he was trying to get the dominant grip straight away, and the referee wasn't happy with it. That's what he's trying to set him up for there. And now he's going to score. That's going to go a YUKO score. He went onto his side there, ORYNBASSAR. Top half has to make contact with the mat. And it has to be the top half, but it has to be towards the back. Can't be top half on the front. It has to be the side to get the YUKO. If you roll them onto their back, it's a wazari. And if you throw them with impetus, with force onto their back, it's an ippon. Well, the crowd, very well educated crowd. As I just said, 2.5 million people practicing judo in Brazil. They know exactly what's going to happen. They know when there's a penalty going to come. They know when a technique's going to come as well. all Japan at the moment. All the attacks coming from KITAZONO. Any positive score will actually be worth more than any amount of penalties. So if you have 3 penalties against you on the board, and you'll only see 3 of them because the 4th one will disqualify you. If you see 3 penalties on the board and then 1 YUKO score that you do from a throw or a hold down, then you will win the match. So you see the referee there signing, because he has to do that, has to sign whether it's a penalty or 2 penalties, and he just signed in there that it was a penalty. So a Shido each on the board, but 1 YUKO score from KITAZONO. ORYNBASSAR will have to do something. There was one of the unusual style techniques. Yoko Satemiwaza, which is a Yoko, which is side, means side, sacrifice. He drops onto his side or back to sacrifice his own weight, but still builds up momentum and power in order to throw the opponent. So a different mechanic in the Japanese style. Not having it all his own way, is he, KITAZONO? There's one child called Saki. That's after the drink. One of the reasons that he started judo is because of the great Toshihiko Koga, world and Olympic champion, and one of the greatest technical Japanese fighters of all time, actually. Same weight category as well, 73 kilograms. So he is a B1. So he has no sight at all. And you can see there that sometimes that's the reason that just a little bit off with the timing of the Uchimata. KITAZONO though has lovely technique, you can see it there. That's why he has to feel the way with the feet there, just to find out exactly where the body position is of his opponent. All the classifications classed together, the reason being that there wouldn't be enough people in each if they split B1, B2 and B3. So you wouldn't have enough and you wouldn't have a judo event, so everybody opted to have the judo event and to have it in the Olympics, and that's exactly what they've done. So they all know. But the interesting thing is that the B1 get more points when they enter the qualification events, the world ranking events. They pick up more points for beating B2s and B3s. Two penalties each on that board. Might be an occasion here where we see the 3 penalties go up. Haven't seen a Hon Sokomaki yet, no disqualifications, hasn't happened. Big arm over the top there, ORYNBASSAR looking, now then nearly gets counted. He does get counted, a YUKO, second YUKO there for KITAZONO. ORYNBASSAR looking positive, big arm over the back, looking to get his hips across. One of the most difficult directions to throw an opponent is to your front, because you have to turn your back on your opponent. So you have to get good kazushi, what we call kazushi. You have to break their balance before you start to rotate in, otherwise you lose balance yourself. The referee's going to stop this, the belt's off. Both fighters asked to tie their belts, ensure that they're tied properly. The kimono, obviously it's a reflection, it represents the kimono of the Japanese kimono, and so we call it a judogi or a kimono. It is very much the same. It's tied by belt, cord, and is wrapped around the waist. That's where it came from. Difference is, of course, it's a lot thicker. The material is a lot thicker. It has to sustain a lot of gripping. ORYNBASSAR was a late qualification. Only heard that he was representing his country, and we only heard in August 2016 because of the Russian Federation's exclusion from the games, and there was a reallocation of competition quota, so he got the nod. Well, that must have been a nice call, especially at 40 years of age, so probably not going to get another chance. One minute 26 of this 5-minute bout left. Oh, and he tries to hook the outside of the leg there. ORYNBASSAR not giving up. Still going for it. Well, the contests tend to last a little bit longer. Visually impaired judo because of the breaks. They have to keep coming back to the middle. They have to grip up every time. Looks to me as if he's just a little bit injured there. ORYNBASSAR took a knock on the leg. Well, a good match, left against right. KITAZONO left-handed and ORYNBASSAR right-handed, and that little buzzer that you just heard there, just indicating the last minute of competition. So that's for the fighters. They know now that they're into the last minute. 2 YUKOs up there to KITAZONO of Japan. Keeps making him grip up with the sleeve grip there, KITAZONO of Japan, but he just changes it back to the lapel. He gets the inside grip immediately on the opponent. Watch the hand change. So not allowed to touch the legs in defense, attack or counter-attack. Can't touch anything below the belt. Well, he's not the oldest fighter, ORYNBASSAR, 41-year-old, Japanese fighter yesterday, one of the most famous of the Japanese fighters. Hitoshi Fujimoto getting his 5th medal in the Paralympic Games, and 41 years of age. Magnificent performance yesterday. Well, I think that KITAZONO thought that was the end there. We've got 2 mats going on, don't forget, so I think the bell on the other mat went, and it's not over yet. Still 38 seconds left of this contest. Still trying ORYNBASSAR, very unusual techniques that he's doing, but still very, very physically strong, giving it his all. "26 seconds left. That's going to be another score. YUKO, 3rd YUKO there to KITAZONO. Akikomi, which is a winding technique to the front. 3 really big scores there on the board. Well ahead, 12 seconds to go, just needs to block out a little bit now, just defend, doesn't need to do anything silly, and he will be through to the quarterfinals. So that's exactly what he is doing now, just blocking out, and he'll go another Shido probably for that. That would have been anyway, just for dropping, but he could go that one, and it's enough to get in the win. So a lot of support there in the crowd